Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System. Here with signing agent Dominica from the great Northern California, which happens to be my home state, or home part of the state is what I should say.
Yeah.
This interview is inspirational, like all these are inspirational. She is a part-time signing agent making $3,000 a month, only working nights and weekends because she has a full-time job. So, I mean, there's so many people, especially in this current economy, D, that would love to have a multiple streams of income like you now are creating for yourself. So let's talk about this amazing journey to $3,000 a month. But first off, when I say that you are a $3,000 a month part-time signing agent, how does that make you feel?
Amazing. Amazing. I can't really find another word for it. I saw it coming. You know, I made certain goals for myself and I saw like, okay, it's gonna happen, but when you actually see the number, it still is a little like surreal.
I love it. I love it. I'm so proud of you. And like I told you before we started, I mean, I see you as $6,000 a month signing agent. I truly believe it. This is awesome. So
Sure.
what makes this interview really even more inspirational and kind of crazy is we're in the middle of the coronavirus. So if somebody's watching this in the future, we're shooting this on March 30th, they're kind of in the heart of shelter at home. So we're going to talk to some people in the current day about what precautions you're taking, how busy you are. We're going to get
Right.
through all of that. But let's start off with the question that I ask every single one of you students who are just doing amazing. And, you know, why did you choose to become a signing agent, D?
Well, there's a few reasons. Clearly, I wanted to have my own business. That was one. But I really was looking for something to bring in additional income. We have a lot of debt that we've accumulated. I have two incomes. Me and my husband both have pretty substantial incomes, actually. But, you know, I still had some debt that I just wasn't able to put a good dent in. And it was really making me feel uncomfortable, honestly. You know, it was giving me some anxiety. I started running numbers and looking at the interest rates and looking at the payments that I was making. And I wasn't even making minimum payments, you know, but it still was like, okay, 10 years, how long is this going to take me to pay off? You know, so I knew that I needed something to, you know, make a more substantial dent in my debt, if that makes sense. And I'm telling you, this has made a difference. I was just actually telling on my Instagram story that this month actually, last month actually, I was able to pay off one of my credit cards. I didn't use any credit this month. I didn't have to transfer any money over from my savings account. You know what I mean? Things that I typically have been doing to kind of stay afloat, like I didn't have to do. You know, I'm a state employee, so we only get paid once a month. And towards the end of the month, you know, my account gets low. It's not low this month, you know, so those are things that I'm like, tangibly can see that this business has made a difference, like a significant difference. Those are things that, you know, make you don't feel uncomfortable. You don't feel that anxiety, you know what I mean? So
Well, you know, first off, I'm so happy for you and your family, D.
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
and what I want to say is thank you. You know, what you just spoke through is what a lot of Americans do, right? I mean, having credit card debt, and a lot of it isn't unique to your family. You know, living quote unquote paycheck to paycheck isn't unique to your family. You know,
Right.
robbing Peter to pay Paul is what a lot of us do, right? Taking money out of savings so we can pay off a high debt interest rate card and just kind of having money moving at a carousel. So I want to say thank you for being honest and transparent because, you know, somebody watching this is probably saying, D, I'm been doing exactly what you're saying. So thank you so much for just being honest and real and hopefully inspiring somebody that, you know, that you're just like them and you're now a $3,000 a month part-time signing agent.
Right. And climbing.
That's what I'm saying, you know, and
Yeah.
so, you know, just to make sure I understand, like, so you're, you know, so let's talk about the fact that you're a state employee. So you have a full-time job, right? And then I'm saying that to inspire people that you're only working nights and weekends.
Right. And I will say, for the last couple of years, I work full time, yes, but I work from home. So that does give me some flexibility that I'm already in my home office. But still, all of my signings are late afternoon going into the evening. But I still have been able to take at least 2 or 3 in the evenings. And then on Saturdays as well, I can take as many as I want, you know? So yeah, you can still do it. You know, I get a lot of people asking me that question. There's so much flexibility. There's so many different signings that come in that people need accommodations at different times. There's even people who need signings before work, you know, early morning, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. So there's so much flexibility where you could still do your 8 hours and still fit a good amount of signings in. I mean, you do have to be willing to hustle. You know, it's a hustle, but it's worth it.
I love it. And thank you for talking through that, because you know, a lot of people, you know, when they see my YouTube videos or my Facebook ads and I say, oh, you can make money nights and weekends, they think I'm trying to sell a course, right? But I love how you just explained that, like, it's all hours of the day. You know, I always tell people borrowers have jobs, man. You know,
people work all hours, all different hours. Yeah, people work nights, swing shifts, graveyard shifts. You know, there's a lot of nurses out there. So yeah, there's something for any schedule, really, to be honest.
So let's inspire someone real quick before we're gonna get into the whole coronavirus thing in a second. But I think what's inspirational about your story is the fact that you're a state employee. So, you know, you were never a signing agent for, you were never an escrow, you're never in real estate. I mean, transition from being a state auditor to now being a signing agent. And I ask that because I want you to inspire someone who might be looking at this saying, Mark, I have no experience. I don't think I can do this. I mean, what would you say to someone who's thinking to themselves like, I can't do this. I've never been a signing agent before.
I think I would say to those people that you need to follow a blueprint. You know, I always go up for your course. Your course is amazing. It's an amazing blueprint. There's other mentorship programs out there, so find what works for you, of course. But I love being a loan signing system because it literally will walk you through how to have a successful loan signing system business. And you don't need any previous experience. You really, really don't. Anyone could do this. But I think it's important to follow a blueprint, though. You know, you just don't get out here and just do whatever. You need mentorship, and as long as you follow that, you'll be fine.
I love it. You know, thank you for talking through that, because like I said, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I don't even know the difference between a reverse mortgage or an FHA loan. And so, like you said, those are all things that I taught you and you learned. And if you could do it, you think anyone could do this?
I think you have to be willing. I want to add to that, willing to invest in yourself, willing to invest in your education, because that's what it is. Educate yourself. There's so much information out there, and as long as you're willing to invest in yourself and invest in your education, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Well, thank you for saying that, because I want to inspire so many people. Like, everyone should be getting, I mean, this time more than ever, right? I mean, let's kind of talk about what's going on in modern day, right? And regardless, and I don't know if someone's watching this, but right now, California specifically had over 1 million people laid off in the past 2 weeks. As a country, we have over 3 million people file for unemployment. You know, I that this is you need a side income more than ever, literally today. And even in a good economy, you need a side income, you know. But let's talk about, you know, what's going on currently in modern day. I mean, are you saying that you are busy in this time, in the middle of the coronavirus? Are you as busy doing loan signings as you ever had since you started this?
Busier than ever. I mean, there's so much business. That's the other thing. I can't say that enough. For anybody who thinks there's not business, that's just totally false. There's so much business. There's so much business I have to turn down on a daily basis, you know, and you'll be overwhelmed. Again, I want to go back to the fact that, though, you need to make sure that you're investing in yourself and you're really good at what you do. And then you'll get even more busy, you know, when those out there escrow officers or even signing services know that you're really good at what you do. Your phone is going to be ringing all day. You're going to get text messages, you're going to get emails, you're going to be overwhelmed. There's so much business. It's never slow. And even with the virus, still, banks are still in business, loans are still closing, they're still funding, and they need us in that process. So yeah, it's not slowing down anytime soon. If anything, it's getting busier.
No, I appreciate you saying that, because I'm getting a lot of questions of, Mark, how is the coronavirus affecting mortgages and affecting loan closing for signing agents? And I tell them, like, it is busy as can be. You know, you did $3,000 a month part-time. You just said that you turned down more business. And so I appreciate you talking through that, because it is. You know, let's go to something else, which I'm sure is on a lot of signing agents' minds right now. or people looking at this video, what precautions are you taking, and because we're considered an essential business, right? I mean, if mortgages didn't close, could you imagine like the chaos it would cause on our mortgage industry and financial industry and sectors? Like, they need us literally now more than ever. And so
Yeah.
some of the precautions you're taking and what that looks like to somebody on the outside.
Yeah, so of course you want to be extremely careful. A lot of the precautions that I'm taking is I make sure I'm sanitizing everything, I'm sanitizing my pens. I use Lysol, when I go in and out of signings. I give the signers the option before I get there, let them know, hey, have this color pen ready, blue or black. If they don't have them, I give them the option to use mine that have been sanitized, that I take out of a little baggie. Gloves, I've been implementing that. I've been doing signings outside because a lot of borrowers are just not comfortable right now with, they might have, I had a signer who had a sick kid, who has health issues. So, they want to do the signing outside. And I want to say that you have to make them feel comfortable. We're servicing them, they're our customer. So I've just been really flexible and doing what is comfortable for the signer. And of course it was comfortable for me as well. I'm okay with doing signings outside. Some people may not be. So I want to say, do what's comfortable for you. And then of course you want to make the signer comfortable as well. It goes both ways. But yeah, everything has been the business as usual, besides that. It's been going really well. It's so busy, and you just have to be flexible. I guess that's the word I'll use, flexible, and just kind of go with the flow and be understanding, to what others are experiencing, what they're feeling.
Yeah. I don't know if I tell you enough, Dee, and I think I do. I hope I do, that I'm so proud of you. Just hearing
thank you.
so well to the professionalism that you are and the professional signing agent you've become. I mean, we're going to talk about your journey in a moment, but to know that you were never in the business to now talking like a veteran signing agent, it's so awesome to watch. I see your smile. This is epic. But yeah, no, but thank you for mentioning, because I know there's a lot of people who are asking how it is out there. I mean, obviously you're taking the precautions, you're sanitizing everything, using Lysol. You're doing anything that the borrower would like you to do as far as making them feel comfortable. And so signings might take a little bit longer. Like, we're just here to service our clients. But I want to say thank you again for being a notary signing agent out there, because without a notary, loans literally cannot fund. If notaries were out there doing this, it would halt the lending industry, which would put a bigger dent in our economy as it is today. So it does not be understated that notary signing agents are more important to the transaction day, literally, than ever. And so thank you for your service. Yeah, thank you for your service for the industry, to our economy. But I hope everyone, while you're watching this, knows that you can stay safe, make money for your family, keep the public safe, keep yourself safe, and just keep the economy humming, because the biggest concern we have is this economy slowing down. And with signing like you're doing such a good job for us. So thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, cool. So let's break down this journey of yours, right? I think everyone gets excited about hearing your journey. So you've been in the business, a whole whopping 6 months. So
yeah.
The first signing 6 months ago, from going from a state auditor to a signing agent. So let's take the journey now. Before we get into this part of the interview, I want to inspire some people right now. Not only has Dee been in the industry for 6 months, she gets business directly from escrow companies.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a myth, Dee, that notaries working part-time can't work directly for escrow officers and mortgage companies. And I think Dee knows her worth, and she knows that she deserves a whole $150. So I'm excited about talking about this movement. And once again, it's not like you don't take signing service business. It's a combo of both, right? And what I want to inspire you, students, because our LSS family watches these too, is some signing agents and students of ours and family members of ours who've been in the business for over a year who still haven't went direct. So I'm excited about talking about the whole thing, but I wanted to really inspire some people today, saying that you have gone direct within 6 months of being a signing agent, and you're a state auditor. So let's get this party started. Okay, cool. So 9/1 was your first signing, roughly beginning of September.
Right.
Talk about how much money you kind of made in September, October, November, so people can kind of see your journey to $3,000 a month.
So yeah, so my first month was about $450, something along that line. And to be honest, that first month, I was still nervous. So I wasn't taking more than like one signing a day because, I was still nervous about the whole process and I was giving myself all this time to prepare. And I even remember my son, he's only 11 years old. He even told me like, Mom, you got this, relax, because he saw me just really nervous, so I don't know, $450 or so for September and October. November, it started picking up a little bit. I started feeling a little bit more comfortable. December is when I saw a huge spike because I'll go back a little bit. I got an escrow officer to take a chance on me in December.
Okay, hold on. I'm back up real quick. So the first 3 months, because that's what makes people follow on your journey, because I think it's inspiring, right? It wasn't like $3,000 happened right out of the gate,
No.
And so I want people to be inspired by that, right? You did 400, 400, 400. So what I want to dig deep into real quick, if this is okay, is more of your mentality, because some people, D, and we have students, right? We have so many students who see $400 in a month as a failure.
No.
That's my point. Like, that's not a failure. It kept you going. You're like, right. So let's talk. I want to get into the mindset a little bit, So you did 400 bucks.
So,
you're excited, to keep you going. Let's talk about that before we get into like the really good stuff.
Okay. So I want to talk. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the other thing I want to talk about on that is, I was only taking maybe one signing here or there, like a lot of people, I have children, so their schedules start to come into play and things along that line. And I see people, I had to change my mindset about that too, because sometimes, let's say if my kid had something after school and I couldn't take a signing, I was looking at that as a failure. Like you said, like, oh man, I had to turn it down. I'm losing money, but I had to change my mindset on that. And instead of me focusing on what I couldn't do, I started focusing on what can I do? You know what I mean? And there was a shift there in my thinking. And that's when I started seeing a shift in, what I could do, So I started focusing on more what I could do versus what I couldn't do, if that makes sense,
It does. And so you did $400, and like, I think it's amazing. You were never a signing agent. You made 400 bucks. Like I said, some people in our group see that are like, oh, I only made 400. So talk about like kind of that momentum you were building within your.
I think you have to change your thought process. For me, anyways, that's what it was. I had to change my thought process and only did 450 versus no, this is a starting point for me, and this is still really good. This is 450 more than I had last month. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. And then I started just making goals for myself, and I started making little incremental steps of like, okay, so what can I do maybe to have more business for the next month and the next month after that? And I started focusing that energy in that area versus like, oh, I only did this, So I had to just change my thought process, if that makes sense,
Yeah, and I thank you for saying that, because, that transition you're making, by the way, is becoming a businesswoman,
Right.
And so you're an employee mindset to like, okay, the transition, I'm so proud of you. I can't say that enough. Like, the growth is phenomenal in such a short time. And so, yes, I love you talk through that, because, I really want to help some people watching this, like, 400 bucks, like you said it's so good. It's 400 more dollars than I had last month. It's like, that's a win, man.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and so I don't want your mindset to go unappreciated, because I think your mindset's amazing, because we're going to talk about this, this motto of like persistency and being relentless. And I think it really is what helping you get to that direct business so quick. And so thank you through talking about your mind shift change. So, okay, cool. So we're now on month number 4. Let's talk about the good stuff. This is when D started going direct. And
so I want to talk about that a little bit, because I actually started, I love how you talk about relationship building. That really, really has helped me a lot. So although I didn't start getting direct business until December, I actually started building this relationship with this title company back in September when I first started. I actually, when I first started, I let everyone know in my contacts, all my friends and family know that I was starting this business, right? So that opened up the door to like my friends and family connecting me with their friends who were real estate agents or loan officers. I even had 2 friends who bought homes the first 2 months I was in business who requested me as their notary. And by them doing that, that gave me a direct connection to the escrow officer, right? So I remember about what you said about building relationships. And so when I had that opportunity, after I did my friend signing, I took the package back to the escrow officer and I started, I introduced myself and I started, building this relationship with them. And like I said, that was back when I first started, but I would check in with her, let's say once a month or so. And, I just kept it going. It was organic. It wasn't like I was like super trying to sell her. I used your script, but not, I made it my own. I think that's important too, to let people know that you give us some great starting points, but it doesn't have to be robotic. It should be organic, and so we just kept in touch. And then by December, she was like, you know what? I got a lot of loans closing this month and I'm probably going to need you. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for you if you need me, and in December, she started using me, and she just started using me a little bit. And then as time went on, she started using me more and more, and that too even gave me confidence to start even marketing even more when it finally clicked and happened. And I understood like, oh, how this works. Like, okay, I get it now. I get this whole relationship building thing. And I learned patience. I learned to be patient. I learned that, it's not going to happen right away. You start building a relationship with somebody and they might not give you a signing the next day. It just doesn't really work like that. So you have to be patient and you just kind of have to keep at it. You have to be relentless. I love that word that you use. I even set a goal for myself to where every day I do something, whether it's I research a new signing service and sign up with the new signing service, or I follow up with the escrow officer or loan officer or real estate agent. Every day I do something. And when I started doing that, I started seeing the results of what I was doing every day, you know what I mean? And so I share that with other people too. Do something every day. If it's just one thing, just do something every day to grow your business and then watch what happens,
Dude, you just dropped fire. I mean, that was like, these episodes are about helping and inspiring other people, even if they're not loan signing system students.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said was so many amazing loan signing system nuggets. If people know what to listen for, I mean, you just dropped how to build a business, man. So I just want to say, the most, and I'd say this, the funny part is every one of these videos kind of has the same main theme is what I'm looking for. And that is, you're just an implementer, right? You don't reinvent the wheel. It's like, take what you learn in the loan signing system, you make it yours. The script 100% should be yours. It should be a foundation of what to say, but you just take it. You don't reinvent the wheel. You figure out what works for you, what comes natural, and you use the word organic, love. And so the fact that you're such a good implementer is the real truth to, just to part of your success. The other part of your success is your relentlessness, your mindset change, becoming a business owner. I'm so proud of you, D. So, what I want to kind of segue to is, a lot of people, say, oh, if you're going to get direct business, you have to be a natural born salesperson, right? You're a state auditor, like nothing against state auditors, but it's not like you are Mr. or Mrs. Salesperson, right?
Right. And I have to tell you, I'm a very introvert. I don't really like having to approach people or so. That is just so the opposite of my personality. So yeah, no, you don't have to be, it's not a sales pitch. Like I said, it's really just relationship building, and it really is understanding, like, if you invest in yourself, if you invest in your education, you really become a good signing agent, then like, okay, I have this to offer. And the escrow officers need that. They need you. So it becomes, even exchange, and so you're kind of presenting it in that manner. you know.
And I appreciate you saying that so much because, I try to tell all the students, not even someone watching the YouTube stage, like our students, that our fellow students, is like, it's not about sales, it's about exchange of value, which you put so nicely. And it's about building relationships. Like, we're not in the sales business. The script that I give you is zero salesy. Like, it's just teaching you the talking points and just how to build a relationship. And so I appreciate you saying, because on the outside, I want all of the students to be inspired by this, right? We're not in the sales business. And I thank you for being honest with your personality and kind of being introverted. And the funny thing is, if you watch enough of these episodes, almost everyone says they're introverted. You know what I mean? And so it's really, really cool. Okay, so let's talk about kind of the spike in growth. So you started going direct, you did $1,000, and now you're up to $3,000 a month. So the growth of 3,000, and I think that what I want to inspire people by is you're doing a combo of direct business and signing service business, right? It's diversification. It's getting it from all kind of angles. So talk about where you are today with your $3,000 and how that works.
I'll talk a little bit about the spike. The spike for me, and as far as the goals I started setting for myself, is so in February, I decided that I was not doing any more signings for $75 anymore.
Well, first up, hold on. Before you say that, I mean, how awesome is it on your journey? When you first started, you're like $75 for an appointment that takes an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, $75 for an hour and a half of my time.
Right.
Like, how awesome is that you can say that?
Yes, yes. And the light bulb came because, I was getting a little bit of direct here and there. So that little taste of it made it like, okay, wait a minute, I need to get more of this versus this. And I want to say also though, that I don't ever want to be, I'm still very, very grateful for all the signings that I got, no matter the dollar amount, because they just really helped me hone in on my craft, So I don't ever want to discredit that. I just got to a point in February where I was like, okay, no, I had to make a shift. I started doing the math and I looked at my month side by side, and this is where the light bulb really came. I think it was January. January and February, right? I did the same amount of signings, but I made so much more in February that I did in January, but I did the same amount of signings, right? So I was like, okay, no, this is like,
that's the power of bypassing the signing service, right? You're working less and making more, or you know what I mean? And so it's so awesome. And it's not about being ungrateful, by the way. I don't ever think you should look at about it, because you are grateful to 75, but it's understanding that you're just worth more.
Right.
And that's an okay moment to have. In fact, that's when you start maturing as a business person, when you realize you're worth more. It's not that it's not like you're better than, it's just you're worth more. And that moment comes for everybody. And I'm so just proud of you that came earlier on, because we have some students who work for signing service for like over 2 years and they still haven't made that jump. And you understand that, you're worth more, the business is out there, you go get it. And so it's so awesome. D, I'm so proud of you. Like, this is epic, man. The fact that like this light bulb has happened within 6 months is.
And I also want to say too, I started getting more calls for, more direct business. And then, I'm still getting calls for signing service business. And then so I had to come to the point where I was like, I looked at my schedule and the signing service would call me and I've taken an appointment from them already. And then the title calls me. And I'm like, oh, so I had to stop, I just had to make some changes, and reprioritize some things. So, but yeah, the growth is.
That's something that I think you almost glanced over. And, I think sometimes, and I think this is the mentality of a maturing business owner, is when you first saw the $75 signing, let's call it $100 signing. Just jumped on it, which you should. But as you start to mature, you realize there's more business over here, and you don't need to jump on over here. And it's hard to make that switch in your mindset, because it's called a scarcity mindset. And so you know that you're really blossoming when you have an abundance mindset, right? You get a notification, you're like, you know what? There's going to be something else coming down the road. Or a few hours later, let me say it like that, and being able to say no here allows you to say yes here. And I think that's an amazing mindset growth, D. I don't want that going overlooked. I'm so proud of you. And you should be proud of yourself, right? I teach all you students to make sure you stop, smell the roses, just don't smell them for that long. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm proud of you. But that switch in mindset should not be overlooked. Because you're changing to an abundant mindset. And a lot of students of ours still operate in a scarcity mindset. And that's what doesn't allow them to flourish. And so I want some students to be inspired that you actually are turning down $100 signing because you know your marketing efforts are going to get you a $150 signing 2 hours later. But it's believing in yourself enough to turn down that 100 so the 200 could actually come to fruition. So proud of you, and that shouldn't go unnoticed. Okay, so love it. Now let's get into some nitty gritty. So, well, first off, you dropped fire. So if someone's watching this, rewind because D just dropped nuggets. But let's get into something specific, right? I ask every successful signing agent student to give one piece of advice that you would like to give a signing agent to help grow their signing agent business. What would yours be?
I have to go back to the word relentless. You use it a lot, and it's been one of the focal points for my business is to be relentless. You know, I push through on like nights where I'm tired, or, you know, I stay up late after my kids go to sleep to study or to sign up, you know, for some more signing services or figure out who I'm going to market to next. You know, I implemented what I call like a daily, I don't really have a word for it, but I do something every day to grow my business. Every day. I don't let a day go by where I'm not like following up with the escrow officer or, you know, marketing or signing up with a new title company or a new signing service. Every day I'm doing something. And I think if you do something every day, you're going to see your business grow. And I think that you have to be relentless in order to do that. You know, I see, you know, some people sometimes come to me and ask me different questions, and I ask them, well, did you do this or did you do that? And they're like, no. So it's like, if you're not doing something, you're not going to see any results, you know? So that would be my main advice. And to invest in yourself, invest in your education. I see too often people are looking like for a quick answer, and the answer is already there if you do the research, you know what I mean? Your program is already a blueprint that's been set out, but if you don't utilize it, if you're not actually going to take the time to do the program and read through and actually implement everything in it, then you're kind of wasting your time. You know, there's no quick answer. You actually have to take the time and invest in yourself. That's what it is. And if you do that, you're definitely going to see the results. You know, I think, I don't want to sound harsh, but I came to the conclusion, if your business is not growing, then either you are not doing something right, or you just need to change something. It's something that it's fixable, but it's probably something that you need to do differently, you know, or you need to do more of. You need to do more of. Yeah.
First off, more fire. And what I think what's really cool is you just got into the mindset of a growing, burgeoning, blossoming signing agent. And that's why I love these episodes so much, because it's not just what we're saying, it's the mindset that you have. Right. And, you know, I implement into you guys relentless. Effort equals signings, period. Right. Effort equals signings, period. Right. And you said it best. And I always tell people the system only works if you work the system. Right. You know, and the funny part is I actually believe it's easy to be a successful signing agent because there's so many people who aren't willing to do the work.
That's so true. That's so true. That's so true.
It's almost by default, it's easy to be a signing agent because they're not out there marketing every day like you are. They're not out there doing everything. Like crushing it as a signing agent, it's really simple because most people sit on their hands. So if you I'm not even talking about like going out and then talking to 20 title companies a day. Like if you talk to one title company a week, you're doing more than 90% of signing agents out there, right? The system only works if you work the system. So I love how we're looking at glimpse into your mindset. I hope people are getting super inspired and juiced. Like I want to like go do push-ups or something. I'm getting so excited. Like you're getting me all amped. So I love this idea of relentlessness, because if you're relentless, the business is there. Every single mortgage needs a notary. So let's go into kind of the last piece of this this interview. And by the way, thank you so much for everybody watching this right now. Dee has taken a Sunday afternoon to speak with me. She has a family, so tell your family thank you for me.
I told them to leave me alone for a while.
So let's get into the last part of this interview, and that is, a lot of people are on the outside, kind of on the fence, because they have a few reservations on why they're not taking becoming a signing agent, or there's reservations on how come they're not marketing direct. So I always end with, what is something that you were nervous about in the beginning of your journey that today you're not so nervous about anymore?
Definitely interacting with escrow officers or just the title companies, period. I don't know. I was scared to death. I don't even know why. Now, when I look back on it, I was scared. I felt intimidated. That's another word I'll use. I just felt intimidated, even when I had to do my first signing at a title company. I remember reaching out to you like, what do I do? And I remember you just saying, you got this, it's no different. And I got there and it wasn't. It actually was easier. It was easier to do a signing at a title company. They make it easy for you. And that's another way to relationship build. So yeah, that's the main thing that I was scared of. And I came to the realization, like I said earlier, that it's an even exchange, that they need good signing agents. They need good signing agents. And so I just became committed to being really good and proving and showing, hey, you could trust me. I'm actually good at this. And once they, kind of see that they can trust you, then it's an even exchange. There's nothing to be intimidated about anymore. I want to say, I think the intimidation, when I look back on it, comes from me just not being confident in my abilities, So once I became confident in the service that I offered, then that kind of went away.
I love it. I think you said something that, like, I almost maybe want to coin as it's an even exchange. You're right. I always tell you students that, people buy value, right? And people don't buy products, they buy value. And so if it's an even exchange of value, you're a great signing agent. They have to have a signing agent. And if you can show you the value that you bring, it's amazing. So I love that you kind of worded it like that. No one's done that yet. I love it. It really is an even exchange. Wow. And I love what you said, that the honesty of being intimidated, right? And intimidation really comes from kind of the unknown. But once you realize what you know, that A, they need you, B, believing in yourself. And I think that's probably the biggest growth I've seen from you is, I remember that Instagram message where you're like, oh my gosh, Mark, I'm about to go into a title office.
Yeah.
To now where you're like, Mark, I know they need me. I know I'm good. And so I always tell you guys to believe in yourself. And when you really start believing in yourself, like, the sky's the limit. And I can sense that you've turned that corner. And that's why I'm telling you, you're a $6,000 a month part-time signing agent, because I feel this turn in you. And you're going to hit $6,000 a month part-time. And it's going to be incredible when you get to that point. This is so amazing. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for sharing your afternoon with us. Let's kind of wrap up with this. We've kind of been on fire. This interview is going so well. Is there any kind of last words of inspiration that you'd like to watch, that you'd like to leave anyone who might want to become a signing agent, or maybe even one of our students who are looking to go direct, who just don't have that confidence yet? Is there anything you want to end with that you want to inspire people with?
I would say just do it. Just do it. Let go of the excuses. That's something else I had to let go of. There's so many things that you could always tell yourself why not to do it, why not to go out and market today, why not, I don't have time to study, whatever. Just put the excuses away and just do it. Just do it. That's it.
I love it. I love it. Well, and with that, Dee, thank you. I can't wait to see you. Conference is going to happen. I'm not sure when, but we're going to make sure it goes down. It's going to be awesome. $6,000. That's your next goal. You got it.
I'm with it.
All right, Dee. Thank you again. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you.